Hey,
Hello.
Hello.
how are you?
We're good. How are you? I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good as well.
You're good as well. All righty, we are actually live. How are you today? Let's see, and it does not. Okay, so that's the new feature. All right, we're still learning all of these new features with Zoom and Facebook. I think they do it just to make it so much more wonderful for you, but for people like me, it creates more drama and problems.
Okay.
But anyway. So today is Wednesday, and I want to say welcome. My name is Dr. Kimberly Barrington, and you are rolling on the road with the doc. We're thankful for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for being with us for over a year now, and to 100 Shades of Disabilities that lets us do what it is that we do and do it freely and with great generosity. Today, my guests are Chuck and Kathy Ford. Chuck and Kathy
Hello.
Ford were the recipients of the free iPad connecting to your community. Many of you know that last November, my father did die, but prior to dying, he came on the show and gifted $10,000 to my business, 100 Shades of Disability, to create a legacy and to assist those persons that have disabilities. He himself was blind and an amputee due to diabetes. And so one of the things that really helped him, and I'm sorry, he was an army veteran. And so one of the things that really helped him was going to Hines, Illinois, is where the VA sends their blind veterans to train them on how to live in their community and how to connect back. One of the things that they do for them is give them technology. They usually receive an iPhone or an iPad from the VA, and they spend about a week to 2 weeks there, and they teach them how to live their life connected through their iPad or iPhone. So he said how great it would be to be able to assist others. So 100 words or less, we ask people to tell us how this technology would assist them, with their disability connecting to their community. Never in a million years would I ever think that we would have persons outside of the Michigan area.
Mhm.
I just assumed we'd have a lot of people, around here, friends, family, what have you. But lo and behold, I had this wonderful inbox come to me telling me about another person who was on social media and said, "Hey, I would really like for my friend to get one of these. These are the things that she's doing. Here's a link to her Facebook page, and I would like to nominate her to get this iPad." So, as I went to do my research, as we always do, I got a great team that assists me. They went and they looked at the person who's being nominated, and then they looked at the nominee and said, "Wow, she probably could um, use an iPad herself." And so I really believe in giving back and paying it forward and just have we don't talk about these kind of things when we speak about ourselves, but I just believe that God has endowed me with the gift of generosity. Because if you know how much an iPad costs and then you pay for Apple Care, 2 years of Apple Care, and then add in an Apple Pencil, and you multiply that by 10 or 12 people, that gets to be quite costly.
Mm-hmm.
So needless to say, I went above the $10,000 that he initially gave me, and I put in a lot of my own money, and because I wanted to make sure that when you received this, that you received it in its totality.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. So tell me, what were your thoughts when you made the nomination and I responded back to you via email?
So I connect the lady that I nominated. I connected with her through social media, and I have quite a lot of followers. I think a lot of people on social media follow each other and don't really interact with each other. But you see their posts and you see their pictures they put up, and you feel like you're connected to them, even though you know nothing about them.
But tell me, I know something about that.
Right. So I've been following this one lady for probably a couple years now. And I initially was intrigued by her because she figure skates. And prior to me becoming disabled, I was a figure skater. My goal was to be the next Tara Lipinski in the world of figure skating. And unfortunately, the world of disabilities had other plans for me. But, that's okay. There you make another path. So when I came across, this lady's social media and I followed her for several years, she made a post one day more recently, probably about a year ago, about her needing an iPad and does anybody know if there's any deals out there or where to go? And I reached out to her because I'm also a giving person and I'm also a resourceful person where if I can't do it for you or if I can't do something or go somewhere for you, I will try and find someone that can help you. So I messaged her privately and said, look, hey, I have the ability to maybe reach out to some of your friends and family and other social media followers and say, hey, look, would you be willing to donate $5 or $10? And we could all sort of chip in. And then I could present you with like an Amazon gift card or a Best Buy gift card and help you offset the cost of an iPad. She said, sure. So about 2 to 3 weeks go by. And unfortunately, I only had one person show interest that really didn't end up following through for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But then I came across your post and I'm like, well, if this isn't meant to be, but my first initial reaction was, this can't be. Like, what are the odds? Everybody makes a joke about, your phone is listening to you. Your phone is always there. There's a chip in your phone. My husband a couple months ago, I think he was, what was it, canoes or kayaks?
Campers. I was talking about campers with someone, and not even 2 hours later, I have a Facebook ad telling me all about campers, and I'm like, what?
So here it is. Like, I'm thinking, okay, my phone is reading my thoughts that I'm looking for an iPad at one degree or another. And I'm like, no, I don't know. And I thought about it for a day or two. I said, you know what? What is it, just to send a brief little scenario, say, look, this is who this girl is. This is what I know of her. I'm like, the worst that could happen is, okay, you don't know her well enough. You can't nominate her, or she doesn't fit the qualifications or what have you. And I'm like, well, it's 100 words. I can find 100 words. I can definitely find 100 words. So I went for it. And then I remember at the end of the email, I'm like, I hope that this finds you well. And I've encouraged you enough to say, look, she is worthy. So me and you both connected, and it turned out she was able to get one. And then I told her, once it was sort of confirmed that she would receive the iPad, I said, I'll send you a case. So I actually had her pick her favorite color, which I believe was purple. And I mailed, it was either purple or red. And I said, look, I'll mail you a case. So after a couple months, she received the iPad and the pencil. And then I said, look, I'll Amazon you a case. And it turned out that I was also the lucky recipient, or I'll say we were the lucky recipients of an iPad also.
And an Apple Pencil.
And an Apple Pencil. So it's amazing that, there are people out there like yourself that are able and willing to give. And I think especially in a time of this pandemic that's been going on, I think everybody is sort of leery about things that are out there on social media. But you, not necessarily yourself, you have to understand that there are good people out there. And I think it's amazing that, just a little gesture, your gesture was a little bit bigger than just little, but just a little gesture can change somebody's entire world. We've been using the iPad. I use it mostly for a nonprofit that I have, and all of my documentation for this nonprofit is on this iPad. So that way, if somebody ever needed to have information, I can literally hand them an iPad and say, this is everything pertaining to it. And then my husband he decided to get creative with it. I will be honest, I have not touched the Apple Pencil yet.
I kind of confiscated it.
But my husband has overtaken it, but it's really what you make it, and it's, you know, also a lesson in, you know, being a person with disability. If you can't go in the front door, you usually can go in the back door. And I know that not everyone feels that they should, you know, but if that's the door that's accessible and that's the door that gets you where you need to go,
I'm here to tell you.
sometimes you got to do it. And I think it's a lesson. You know, people always say, pick your battles. Well, pick your entrance. If it's an entrance that works, you know, go with it. And we're going with it. I would say I'm running with it, but that's not really working for me. So
girl, just
yep. You know, but it's all about how you look at it, you know. So
absolutely.
but we're very, 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 very grateful, and we're happy that we've come to this point. And unfortunately, also the pandemic had a lot to do with it, because it's given us time to be home. Normally, we're going here, going there, working a lot, doing a lot of overtime at work, and we never have time to sit back and relax. And now that I've been working remotely in my own living room, you know, my husband sits up every night that I work with me, and he works on his creativity.
I love it. We are now at the, I believe about 4:15. I think so, somewhere around in there. Yep, we're about 4:15. And I want to say thank you for joining us today. You are Rolling with the Doc, and my name is Dr. Kimberly Barrington. Today, my guests are Chuck and Kathy Ford. They are in Egbert.
Egg Harbor.
Egg Harbor.
Egg Harbor. I got the egg part. They are in Egg Harbor, New Jersey. I'm telling you, we have really rolled a lot of places. I think you are now like the 20th state that
That's
we
awesome.
have been in since the pandemic. We have been in over 63 cities. So it has been awesome. I've never traveled this much. I mean, I traveled a lot prior to the pandemic, but I'm traveling even more virtually. So I want to welcome you today. We are in Egg Heaven.
There we go.
We
That
in Egg Heaven. You know, for those who are egg lovers, we are in Egg Haven, Egg Harbor. We in the egg place.
Yep.
It's excellent.
Yes, we're in the excellent place in New Jersey.
Yeah.
We are talking with the Fords. We are grateful today for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for rolling with us for over a year, and to 100 Shades of Disability, who helps us to do what it is that we do. And we're talking about the recipients of the Connecting to Your Community iPad giveaway. And for those of you who applied, I believe in like February, maybe March, we were just overwhelmed. You were a part of the first group to get them. And so once you guys started posting, the requests were just off the chain. So we ended up hiring, you know, a couple more people to help go through the application process. You know, we do have some other philanthropic things that we do. And so we just got a bit overwhelmed. And trust me, they are coming. They really, really are. Because it just the time that it took to build a rapport with Apple, to be able to purchase so many and let them know approximately how often and how many I would like. There, trust me, I didn't even think about how many people would take such great advantage of the pandemic. And so there were many people who were buying them and trying to resell them to make money. So it was the time that it takes for them to, you know, validate the stories.
Right.
And because when we do give the iPads away, it is monogrammed with your name on it from 100 Shades of Disability. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We spared no expense, and I think but it's nice to see what happens when you give someone a hand up and not a handout, because definitely this is not intended to be just, you know, a handout to anyone, but really allowing them that ability to connect to their community. And what I loved, I mean, just the excitement to receive this package in the mail. My husband was like, oh my God, what is this? And I said, he says, you ordered something else for the kids? Because I have 7 grandchildren. Yay! And they're all, you know, the oldest is 11. So they're 11, 10, 9, 6, 3, 1, and 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So I will be buying 7 books, one for each one of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You know, from Nana. But and then I have one that calls me Grandma Purple. As you can see,
We don't know why though, do we?
you know, but I don't know why. Don't know why.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. And so each one of them will get a book. But my husband said, so you ordered something for the kids again? And I was like, what? Me? I don't get books. And then I opened it up and I saw the inscription and I was just like, he says, oh my God, what's wrong? What happened? Who died?
Yep. Yep.
They put a death notice in a book. What happened?
Yep.
Because when you are a philanthropist, you know, the first thing people say, what can you buy someone that has everything? Well, when you know them well enough, sometimes it's just the simple things, like a purple sippy cup.
Yep. Love the straw too. Love the straw.
That's great.
You know, I mean, it's just the simple things.
Oh,
You know, someone, he's sitting here behind me in my wheelchair, but, you know, my church purchased me a dog. I could buy my own dog, but
Oh,
that was such a big, kind act that
Right.
I will always remember every day, 24/7, that, you know what, somebody loves you. Somebody
Right.
appreciates things that, you know, you do. I like Voss water. You know, just, I'm just saying.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, I like here we go, you know, purple earrings, just
Oh yeah.
just, you know, little things
Yeah.
that really make me happy. But to know that I did something for someone, it changed the whole trajectory of
Mhm.
their life is monumental, because that is the mission, the motto, the goal of 100 Shades of Disability, is that we improve the quality of life for persons with disabilities economically, legislatively, through community partnerships and education. And I believe that giving an iPad away encompasses all of it.
Right.
It encompasses all of it. So let everybody see, drum roll, please. Ta-da!
The littlest
The
turkey.
Littlest Turkey.
By Charles Ford.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is a book that I created using an iPad, an Apple Pencil, as well as an app called Sketch, where I illustrated everything. I put the words in through that app and just did the whole layout right on there.
And I think
And-
we have to do a sneak peek.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm a crybaby, and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, on the cry note, we do have bad news. There will probably be more tears because there's more books coming.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
I'm working on the second one now. And it may or may not have someone it might be based off of someone very
very close,
familiar,
very close to him.
very close to
like
me.
this? Are we doing like this? Oh, wait a minute.
Yep.
Follow the finger.
Yep.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, Chuck.
Yep. But as you saw in the book, there is
I
two.
think she needs a friend.
Oh, oh
Okay,
yes. Oh
okay.
yes.
Hey, I think we can work that out.
I think she
But-
needs a friend.
On one, we can show one page in particular.
We'll go a little closer here.
There's a farmer and a wife.
And they may or may not.
They look like
Little
somebody
familiar.
I know. Ooh,
Right.
I know.
But there's a reason, because some people may say, well,
she doesn't really look like you.
The wife doesn't look disabled. Well, there is a storyline, so to say, more a storyline
Yeah.
that follows me through the progression of being disabled. So
I love it.
without giving away too much, there may or may not be 2 more books coming that will be pre-wheelchair days,
Mm-hmm.
and there will be a character that is
Post-wheelchair.
wheelchair days.
I like that.
And they each have their own involvement in the story.
And Petey is going to be a recurring character. So my goal with this was to basically make a series starring Petey. And I wanted to introduce different friends that will also keep reoccurring as the books progress. So the next book is actually going to be his newest friend, which is based off of my beautiful wife and her disease that she has, which is FOP, fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. It's a mouthful, just saying. And basically, it's going to.
You know, I think I bought that on Uber Eats the other night. You know.
It's going to basically follow his storyline because the character is going to be a guy, but the next character is going to be a woman. So I'm kind of encompassing her in both characters. She's very influential in both characters.
Mm-hmm.
So Petey's going to befriend the new character in the next book. Then I have a third book, which is going to be based on, well, do I give away all that information? Kind of, I guess so.
The profession.
Based on her profession that she's in. And then the following book is going to be the new character, which may or may not be in the background of the third book. So,
Right. So they're all sort of tied. They're tied together, but we felt that it was also important to include, you see a lot of books for children about being a police officer
Or a
being
fireman.
a fireman.
never one about being a dispatcher.
Or being handicapped. Hey, when I grow
Exactly.
up, I'm going to be handicapped.
Right.
Yep.
Right. But I think it's important to show people, one of the things that I like about the book and, him being able to make this a reality is I went to school with a girl about 20 years ago, and she wanted to be a teacher, and she was also disabled. And unfortunately, society put this label on her that she does not deserve to be in the classroom. And I'm very resourceful, and I tried to explain to her, look, don't let that be a no. You
Right.
went on several interviews, you went to several schools, and for whatever reason, they're deciding that you are not suitable for their classrooms. Write a book.
Yep.
You can be home, take care of yourself, take care of your needs, work on a book as you are able to. You have good days and bad days, it's fine.
Absolutely.
But then you can go across the US. You can go throughout the world. You can have your book translated in different languages.
You can do video conferences.
You can do video conferences, do everything virtually. So you can take a negative where, you can be set on, I want to be a teacher and that's it. Or you can take it and say, what can I do that will also get me in the classroom?
Yeah, there's
And,
more than one way to teach.
Yes,
And
exactly.
everyone doesn't learn the same way. So, I mean,
Right.
that was excellent.
Right.
advice.
And this is a good segue to the book. Is the main storyline is to just always be true to yourself. Basically, accept who you are, and eventually other people will accept you for who you are as well.
Right,
And never being afraid to say, "This is me."
right.
But the funny little side note is this is actually a book that I've had in my head for probably about 20 years, 21 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when I was in high school, I don't want to give away too much, but there is a family of turkeys in this book, and the turkeys actually appeared at my parents' house, following with Petey. Of course, I don't want to give away all of Petey's secrets yet because it's amazing in the book. But what ended up happening is we found this family of turkeys. We thought there was a baby turkey there, and we named him Petey. And a few months later, when spring hit, we were like, "Wait a second, what's going on?"
What he was. Uh-huh.
And at that moment, I had the title The Littlest Turkey and thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I just needed to write it. Unfortunately, it took me another 20 years to write the story.
Right.
And thank you to your wonderful gift, I was actually able to finally illustrate it, which I had been working on the illustrations for about 2 years now, and just could never find a computer program that would work, nor could I find a way to actually draw it out and put it onto a computer to actually color it. So this encompassed everything and made this a reality for me.
And I think that, that's the other piece with 100 Shades of Disabilities. Me learning, having a physical disability late in life. I was 47 years old. And at 47, you're ready to start to settle down. Most
Right.
people will have worked a job for more than 20 years. So you can start to think about working part-time, receiving part of your retirement.
Mhm.
And hey, kids, you're getting ready to be an empty nester and you're ready to start the second chapter of your life. I wasn't expecting to start the second chapter in a wheelchair.
Right.
I just not at all. Wasn't on the radar.
Right.
But just thinking of it, how it affected everyone in the family.
Right.
And got me thinking that this is all we've been talking about. I know for the first 2 or 3 years, we didn't have a conversation other than something medical, something about my maladies. And it's like, I'm tired of it. I want to talk about something else. I want to do something else. And I said, what about, one of the things was I wasn't able to wear my clothes the way I normally do. I couldn't do zippers, buttons, clasp, none of that. So all of my wardrobe needed to change because if I wanted to put on some clothes without someone's assistance, hey, we need to rethink this. So we started thinking about a clothing line. And then it was like, well, who's going to put my earrings on? Who's going to put the necklaces on? So you really start to think like, oh, all this needs to change because I can't access it the way I used to before. And so then it got my whole family talking about something different. We started talking about entrepreneurship. And I think that you guys are a perfect example of that. So now we don't have to just sit around and talk about, oh, well, what kind of cheer is Kathy going to get today? And what appointment that we have? And then how are we fighting, accessibility on this issue? It's always something.
Oh, yes.
And you're not getting the return for the investment that you make when you begin to advocate for yourself and get the things that you need.
Right.
But wow, with a pencil and an iPad, it opens up a whole new world. Because now I can access my world differently. I can even monetize what it is that I do when I figure out a way to advocate for someone or change something that makes it accessible or universal for all people. Now we talking, we cooking with the gas on, y'all. Cooking with the gas on.
Well, trust me, now I think I drive her a little crazy because it's like, hey, look at this page I just did, and look at this page I just did. What do you think of this character?
Every couple of days, there's a new page that pops up, and he goes, "Hey, how's this? How's this look? Is this good?" And I have an arts background. I went to college originally as a graphic designer, so I obviously don't have access to the programs that I had when in college.
Right.
But I know how to tweak something on Microsoft Word and or Paint, and I can make it look pretty acceptable. So, he'll show me things, and, there's a couple things in the book that we've published so far that as an art background, it makes me a little batty that it looks the way that it does because I know that I probably could have adjusted it on the page to make it different. But you start off, it was a great starting point. And I think to see where we go from here, I think would be more amazing than making this the most perfect book, making it laid out correctly. And there's a reason there's a green border. That was not done on purpose. That just sort of appeared, but it looks a little different when you have it like this, but when you laid it out on the computer, the green border goes around the front and the back. So when you lay it out as a whole page, this doesn't look that bad. But when you just look at the front cover, It irritates the graphic designer in me. But it's okay. It's okay.
But
You know?
I will say, we did all this on Amazon Publishing, which is a little difficult because it's in landscape mode or horizontally. When you do that, it makes it a lot harder because they're usually set up more so for vertical style
Portrait.
books.
Portrait.
Portrait mode, yes. So the next one is actually going to be in portrait.
So
Figured
hopefully the layout will be easier.
That's the hope anyway. But I do love how it came out though, and to actually hold it in my hand it's so surreal.
Yeah.
When I opened this up, I actually teared up a little bit. It was amazing.
So do they send you the finished copy? You know, once you submit it and finish it, do they send you one back for review?
You can order a proof book, and they'll send that to you.
Okay.
And at the top of it, it says "do not" or "not for resale," and shows you what the whole thing's going to look like. We actually had one sent to us, and then they denied the cover, and we had to do the cover this way. So everything else in the book looks exactly the same. It's just the cover on the proof book was perfect. Like it fit exactly the way it needed to.
Perfectly centered.
But then they denied it, so we had to tweak the front cover and the back cover. And then they accepted it, and everything went through with no problem.
But it took I'll say the hardest part was getting it up on their website. Okay. It took 2.5 days to get it, for them to accept it. They tell you what the errors are, what it is that they're not accepting about it. Mm-hmm.
But the difficult part is they'll show you like, okay, there's this red border. This is the problem, but you can't just go on there and change it. You have to actually go back into another program. You have to change it on there. And then when you come back, it's instead of going a little bit like this, it's up here in the corner. And it's like,
it shifts it all around your screen, just making it just, a centimeter smaller on each side. It moves it up into the top left corner. And it's like, well, I didn't need that. So it was definitely challenging, but I think the reward of seeing it and holding it and knowing that, we did this, I think is, it made it worth it. It definitely made it worth it. And then to know that he has, the books to follow behind it now.
Because the next book is already written out. I just have to illustrate it, which I'm working on currently.
Right.
And the hope is that it'll be possibly ready by September.
Right. End of August, beginning of September, ideally when kids go back to school sort of thing.
What time? This is April. So it takes that long to do a book?
Well, it's not the hard part. It's actually coming up with all the ideas for the characters and then drawing them out in different ways. The backgrounds in this next book are going to be a little, I guess, more complex than what was in this one. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, one of my backgrounds is going to be a classroom, and I've got many desks going in like 4 rows into the front of it. I've got a teacher's desk in the front, window, which may or may not have a
similarity,
very familiar outside. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's just right now I'm working on all the little details and everything.
Right.
Wow.
But
wow.
It's definitely kept him busy.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And then the next book, I look forward to that. I've already started writing it, but I only have, I think, 5 pages so far, and I want to get it to this, which was 29. So it's like, I got to come up with some ideas. I have ideas, so it's not going to be too bad, I think.
And every so often, I'll be sitting at work and he'll come out of the bedroom and he'll say, I have another line for a page. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, what book is this? And he reads it. I'm like, okay, I know what book it's going in. Okay. But he just random parts throughout the day, he comes out with another page.
Because as soon as it hits, if I don't write it right then and there, I'll forget it.
Right.
So I actually have gotten to a point where on my phone, they have the notes section. So I actually have a little spot on there, and I'll just type in what I thought about, and it's good to go. That way, if I forget it, I have it. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah. He enjoys it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So exciting. So those of you who are still waiting, that applied about a month or so ago, hold on. Change is coming. Hold on, change is coming. Because it does take Apple a minute to process, even when I do it and process all of the orders, and they do put your name on there and then our company name. So it just takes a minute, and it's a large order, and they have to fit it in along with all the regular orders that people are ordering of iPads, and they've got new products coming out, so that'll be interesting.
Mhm.
Yay, yay. So I feel bad for those who got the first group. We got another group coming along. Yeah. They even have a purple one.
Oh
Oh,
wow,
that's amazing.
Purple, yes. iPhone 12. So
that's cool.
I think that may have someone's name written all over it.
I'm just gonna throw something in there for my own self.
That's awesome.
But
That's
it's
awesome.
coming. Trust me, you guys, stuff. It is coming. It's just taking us a little bit longer. We just have more people, and then hiring people to go through everybody's application. It's just like, woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just don't want to say no, because you never know
Right.
what's gonna happen. I mean,
Right.
who would know if I had not said yes to you as well? And you didn't even ask for one. You were nominating somebody else,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I just got excited by your altruism. And I was just like, oh my gosh, somebody who could really use it. And they're not thinking about themselves, because so many times we get selfish.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Selfish. It's like,
Oh yeah.
hey, I'm not telling anybody about this. I'm just gonna do it my own self and go for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we are now at 4:39. Wow. Time is really flying.
Yeah.
So Chuck, if you could tell us again how you did it. So you said you got the pencil, you
So-
had the iPad, and then what program did you put on there?
It's called Sketch. It's an app that's on the Apple devices. It's a free app, which that was amazing in itself. So, and once you have it on there, it gives you the layout so that you can create the page however you want. If you want it in portrait, if you want it in landscape, and once you do that, you just start drawing. There's different brushes, there's different pens and highlighters and stuff that you can use. There's color palettes, anything and everything you can imagine. I actually used to use a program very similar to this. I unfortunately have lost the name of it. I want to say it was either Corel Draw or Adobe Photoshop. It was one of those. And when they changed, they updated it, I lost everything on there that I used to use, and I could no longer figure it out. So this program here has just been a lifesaver. And I've been able to actually draw everything on there and color it in as well.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't there layers?
There are
Okay.
layers. So the really neat thing is I can actually draw each character, and then I can save it onto the iPad as its own picture. And then if I want to use it again later on, I can just bring in the character itself. Same thing with the backgrounds. I'll draw a background, and then all I have to do is save it, and later on I can bring that in anywhere as I want. And the nice thing about it is with the layers, you can merge them together. So if I draw my PD character and I want him holding a megaphone, I could draw the megaphone by itself, draw PD, and then I can actually connect the two together, but I don't have to have them like that, which is
Mhm.
really neat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, is there anything that you want to say to our listening audience? Your final words.
Well, I guess without involving the pandemic, so to say, I think the biggest thing is everyone needs to learn how to adapt. I think the pandemic has kind of shown everybody that everyone needs to adapt. There's always going to be constant change, and I think how you react to the change is what helps you, move forward in life.
Mhm.
It's something that we're all going through. We're all experiencing in different ways. But I think if you just take a step back and look at, where you've come from and where you want to go, adapt, change, look at the surroundings, look at things around you, and make the best of the situation. Is this where everybody wants to be today? Maybe not. But we can always make the future a little bit better, whether the future is tomorrow or next week or a month from now. And it's just, we'll get through it one day at a time. And
Yep.
just do you. Do you.
Mr. Chuck?
One thing I want to say is what I've written in my book and I've expressed so many times is just always be true to yourself. Never be afraid of who you are. Don't let people tell you who you are. Because the only one that knows you is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
that's
love it.
basically.
So I'm gonna say true to my purple self. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
So we want to say hi to Joshua, all the way in Georgia, and hi to Pastor Sean Stokes, who is watching. We love you. And my phone just flashed. Yeah, I love you, love you, love you, love you lots. See, it's just those random acts of kindness that really, make a person stay. It doesn't take a whole lot to be kind. Right. And so I am so grateful for your random act of kindness, seeing someone on social media and nominating them for an iPad. The person did receive their iPad. She was so excited. She's like, "Ma'am, I don't think that's mine." I said, "Yes, ma'am, it is yours." And I said, "Yep. Someone nominated me." And she said, "Somebody likes me like that?" I said, "They do." She said, "Wow." I mean, so just her response to know that someone is watching her, that she's making an impact in someone else's life. And that's just how it goes. Thank you so much to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for being here. I love my Beth. I got to give a great shout out to everybody who knows me, knows that I like zombies and that, zombies are a virus. So I got this zombie virus that came to me yesterday.
Oh.
That is cool.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
I want to say thank you to Dr. Carla Black, who works at the Kent County Health Department. She has been on the show. Her background is epidemiology. So she was really instrumental in talking to us about why you should be vaccinated, what's in the vaccine, what could possibly make you sick if you take it, and without getting into other health specific issues. She just spoke from an epidemiologist point of view, what's in it, what can it do, and even instructed me the day before I got my first vaccine. And so this was just kind of like, our little running joke. Anyone who's on the show, I always tell them to please enjoy yourself, and we may talk about zombies. Yes.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And so all I want to know is, are we going to write a book about, a little handicapped zombie?
It could happen. It could very well happen.
It could be in the 911 book,
Yeah.
Hey, we go out and we had to respond and we get there. Yeah. So I just told them I'm gonna be the zombie with the purple lips and the lashes, and they just last forever. So every day I wake up like, if I turn to a zombie, I'm gonna be cute.
There you go. There you go.
And I guess I'll be going like this. My finger might be
there you go.
on my wheelchair.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But we want to say thank you so much to Chuck and Kathy Ford, who are in an excellent city in New Jersey.
Yes.
And thank you for having us.
Yes, and thank you for the iPad. Thank you for the pencil. Thank you for shedding light and bringing cheer to so many people. Like you said before, it doesn't have to cost a lot. Giving to someone can be as simple as holding a door for somebody or buying an iPad for someone. And I think the ripple effect that things have when the recipient, when you do your homework on the recipients, and the trickle effect of what such a simple gesture for you does, I think is amazing. So we appreciate it. We're going with it. Like I said before, I'd be running with it, but that's not working out for me. So, yep. So we'll let Chuck run with it, but I think it's just amazing that, you can use what you have. And you know, there are good people like yourself out there. And I think it's amazing that, you know, despite everything going on in the world, there is still good.
Mhm.
There is still
There
good.
is. There absolutely is. So we
There are
want to
good
say-
purple things.
there really are. So we want to say thank you again to the Fords for opening up, for sharing with us, and we have thoroughly enjoyed it. And I love my book, and you have to get one. So you know what I do? I do it all the time. I will be buying 20 books. So if you would like a book,
Thank you.
they will sign them personally to you. So if you want it just for yourself, you can. Because I'm here to tell you, it's not necessarily just a children's book.
The message is good for everyone.
It really is. So I can't say that it's just strictly a children's book. It just happens to be animated in its design, but its message, it runs deep and it is very adult. It's very, very adult. And I think that it is a very timely book
Yes.
because the
Thank you.
message is it's okay to be different and it's okay to be you. And usually, you know, being you and being different might make you a hero.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
You like
You
that?
did good. You did good. And anyone who wants an autographed copy, I mean, obviously, anybody that would be local to us, we can drop it off. But anyone who wants an autographed or personalized copy, just contact, if it's okay with you, contact us through Facebook. So that way we'll just send you one from us versus going through Amazon and then you mailing it to us and then us mailing it back.
So this is what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna pay because I know, you know, my grandchildren each need to have one, and then there are others that I would like to have a book. And so I tell you what, I'll buy 30 books.
Okay.
And you can give them to whoever you would like to. So if there are people that are local or friends or family that haven't purchased them yet, or you want to give them away as gifts,
Okay.
with something else that you do
Okay.
alongside your job, maybe,
Yeah.
then they've already been purchased. So there you
Okay.
have it.
Okay.
100 Shades of Disability is going to buy 30 books. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So
Thank
I'm
you
really
so much.
excited. And yeah, my name is, and I am Dr. Kimberly Barrington. I am the CEO and founder of 100 Shades of Disability, where we improve the quality of life for persons with disabilities. I need to add, and their families, economically, legislatively, through community partnership and education. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for rolling with us. And on tomorrow, I am so excited. We are going back to Georgia. I'm telling you, my talent and placement director lives in Georgia. So that's why we stay there a lot. He comes in contact with some really great people that are there. And I'm excited about the Mann family. And they definitely show us what it's like for the whole family to be impacted by a disability. Say it's a family thing. So tune in on tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Until then, guys, be responsible, mask up, and don't forget.